Listen, what I saw yesterday was they told me yesterday the Heat were taking on the best team in the NBA, and I saw the Heat whoop that team's ass. Yeah. Ergo, that makes you the best team in the NBA.
I knew going in I was going to see the best team in the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
And it just turns out that team happened to be the Miami Heat.
Just didn't know what we were going to see, and look, that's what happens. You know, sometimes you go into things not expect. I didn't expect Andy Ruiz to knock out Anthony Joshua, but look, he became heavyweight champ of the world.
That's the way it works.
He ate himself out of the heavyweight championship very, very shortly thereafter. But I don't think the Heat are going to do that. I think they're going to hopefully not get fat cat syndrome because they take on the Orlando Magic on Wednesday, and Lord knows what they're not going to do to me is they're not going to go and lay a huge egg against a team they're way better than, because why would they do that?
No,
hopefully they seemingly have things figured out, and they will not, and may I stress this, may not go out there and lay an egg against the Orlando Magic after the best win of the season.
By the way, I hate doing the schedule thing, but given that they play the Magic, and then they play at a tough New Orleans team now that they've got this healthy Zion, then they play Washington, then they come home to play Charlotte and the Bulls and the Knicks and all these teams that are struggling. The Heat are in position now over the next 5-6 games that now that they've won 3 in a row, they seems like they've righted the ship, that they should keep this going with a nice little stretch.
Yeah, don't blow what you had last week.
Yes.
You had the opportunity, and you had the triple crown of losses. You lost to the Hawks, the Cavs, and the Timberwolves, all in terrible fashion.
Yeah. If they win Wednesday, it's a 4-1 homestand, which is, in a 5-game homestand when you know that you got to place Dallas, a playoff team, Brooklyn, an up-and-down team, but a team that can give you trouble if they get hot, and then obviously the best team in the league in the Bucks, and you go 4-1 in that stretch, you feel pretty damn good.
No, definitely.
So you got to finish this off Wednesday.
Please finish it off Wednesday, because if you don't, I don't know. It's just not going to be pretty for me. I can't fathom, because this is, look, the win was nice yesterday, trust me, but half of the story has to be, what the hell? What happened? Because how do you look that good against a team that's been that dominant? And I don't want to hear anything about back-to-backs. Heat, as Will, you pointed out, 3 out of 4. Like, it's not like the Heat exactly have been sitting easy breezy at Nikki Beach for the last week. They both have been playing a lot of games lately, and the Heat have that kind of performance, especially defensively. Yeah, I mean, look, I know Milwaukee had a bad shooting night, a really bad shooting night, but even still, the work we saw them put on the best player in the league, a guy who's probably going to win back-to-back MVPs, and what I saw your all-star do against him in Bam Adebayo was so impressive. It was so impressive.
And the energy, again, you cannot, there is no stat for energy effort, right? Like you have to watch the game. This team last night looked nothing like the team that lost those other games. Those other games, when you watch the game, right, when they lost to Minnesota, for instance, or blowing the lead of the Cavs, they just seemed lifeless at times. They did. And last night there was no moment where you felt they felt lifeless. They played with energy from the opening tip to the end of the game. The crowd was into it. It was an incredible night, and hopefully a return to that Heat team that we've grown to love this season. A big reason why they are 39-22.
Look, I also want to make a point, and this is just a PSA to all the parents, and I hope that I don't know if kids are in school yet. I think I have like 20 minutes left, so I'm going to get this last PSA out there. Okay,
please do.
Look, kids, there's some of you who are good kids, Heat lifers. Okay. I assume you were at the game last night. You were wearing your Bam Adebayo jersey, your Jimmy Butler jersey, your Goran Dragic jersey. But you looked at Jimmy over in the next section. He's got his dad, Todd, real jerk, probably a lawyer, doesn't pay attention. And so
sure.
Doesn't raise him right as a fan. And he's like, Dad, love me. I want the cool thing. Giannis, he's the best player. So instead of paying attention to this kid's fanhood, what he does is, because he's too busy, solving cases and that type of stuff. He tries to buy the kid's love, so he gives him a Giannis Antetokounmpo jersey. Your kid is a bad fan, all right? And you should remember this feeling with him walking out with his father, Todd, real jerk, probably still on the cell phone as he walked out with his son sobbing into his Giannis Antetokounmpo jersey last night. Remember this feeling while you wear your Goran Dragic jersey with pride, and he's sitting there sad in his Greek Freak jersey. Look, he can hop on that bandwagon when Greek Freak hops on the Heat bandwagon in a couple years. But for right now, his father's a terrible parent. And your father, or mother, quite frankly, there's plenty of mom Heat lifers out there. Shout out to the Heat moms who went and bought you a Goran Dragic jersey. You know, maybe an old school Tim Hardaway jersey. They taught you the old school roots. Or maybe you just got a D Wade still that's lying around. I don't know. But just remember, last night is where you get to hold your head high as all those bandwagon jumpers were waltzing out of the American Airlines Arena when their team tapped out. That just needs to be pointed out.
I'm glad you said it. Could not say it any better.
Yeah, you got terrible parents, kids, and you might grow into terrible people. I'm just letting you know.
I won't go that far. I'll stop at the other part, but you can
go
keep
there.
going.
Don't worry. I'll go there because life isn't about being easy, kids. All right. If everything was supposed to be easy, we'd all just be going willy nilly with 8 jerseys a game. It'd be tear a jersey away. No, you sit there and you go through the hard times. All right. Sometimes you got to wear a Kelly Olynyk jersey. All right. It's not great, but you do it. And no offense, Kelly. I mean, that was an awesome move that you had on Brooke Lopez yesterday. I'm just saying, you can't always just waltz around here getting whatever jerseys with the cool kids are wearing. No. All right? Wear your PFO Linux.
Please do.
Now, let's hear from Eric Spoelstra yesterday. Bam Adebayo was awesome. He made Giannis Antetokounmpo flop right on his belly as if he was an orca at SeaWorld. Let's hear from Eric Spoelstra as he talks about Bam's performance defensively against the Greek Freak.
This is one of the prototypical Bam Adebayo winning games. Yeah, I didn't notice what his stat line was, but he didn't have his normal flow offensively, particularly through the first 3 quarters. You know, he missed some shots. Looked like he might have gotten fouled on a couple. You know, we weren't able to generate our normal looks, you know, for our shooters with him, and he just stayed with it. And that's the kind of persistence that he has. He has winning habits, so he figures out different ways to help you. And defensively and on the glass were our biggest priorities. And he was doing it all over the place. And then things started to open up for him, you know, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking of calls that people aren't getting, referees, can you guys lay off my boy Dunks? For God's sakes.
Oh, my goodness.
Can Duncan Robinson get one call to go his way? Because that call that he had yesterday, that monstrous flagrant 2 that you called on him, where he didn't even touch the Milwaukee, was it Middleton? Who was that guy?
That was Middleton. It was early in the game.
It was Middleton driving to the basket.
He completely whiffed on him, and they call a foul on Dunks.
Duncan did the whole, I'm going to defend, and then I'm going to lose this, so he just bailed. I said, I'm going to give him this move. Didn't touch him, and they call the foul. And he's looking at him like, wait, did you not see that? I was just letting him go by. I literally just cut in front of him and kept going. Duncan gets this, though, more than anyone. And Spose even mentioned this. There's something about Duncan because you see him as the shooter, and he's not a great defender, obviously. He's not a good defender yet. He's still working on that.
He's not a good defender.
But he'll sneeze on a guy, and it's like, foul. That's it. I mean, he gets so many calls against him.
Maybe he just looks like a menace. I don't know.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's
I don't know. But I'm infuriated by him watching this, and I'm like, this guy dunks. He can't catch a break.
Yeah.
Goes out there. Everybody's like, he looks like trouble. Call a foul on him.
Yeah. Come on. That was an awful call. There were actually, you mentioned it earlier, there were some really bad calls for both sides, by the way. Offensive, they were calling every little screen and a legal screen. Everything was a call for a stretch. In the end, it didn't matter because the best team won. But the point is, there was some ticky-tack calls.
By the way, we didn't get to talk about this yesterday because we were out. Did you see the entire internet get got by this fake Andre Igoudala quote put out by
I did
Twitter aficionado Chef Trilly?
Well, the funny thing is, Trilly's someone I follow now. I had Clay, who I work with at Channel 10, Clay Ferrero, and he said, "Hey, this guy's really funny. If you see this guy," and I said, "I think I've seen his tweets. I'm going to follow him," and I've been following him, and he cracks me up because so much of his stuff is satire and fun. He's just a big Heat fan who's knowledgeable about the game, but just posts jokes. So I saw that tweet before it went viral, and I saw that's funny. Obviously, he made up this thing that's very funny. Didn't even cross my mind that anyone actually fell for it.
It was funny because it was one of those things where it was one of those ones where I wake up at 4:00 in the morning and you just see some stuff that gets sent to you. Like, I'll have Heat fans all the time. They'll just, I'm sure this happens to you too. Well, they'll just at you on stuff so you could see stuff, which I appreciate. They're like my own little assistant producers. I love it. And
I don't even do that.
Somebody sends well, you don't have Twitter. You've gone off the grid. Nobody can find you.
He doesn't have Twitter?
He doesn't have anything. He has a Facebook account only to log into.
No, there's no doubt you have some sort of gambling MySpace account.
Yeah, it's only because he gets the easy logins. That's why you keep your Facebook account.
I don't have to create a new password and log in. I just easy log in, click Facebook login.
Yeah, and I like Chef Trilly too, but there are two Heat Twitter guys that you have to watch out. You got to watch out for him, and you got to watch out for Drew Starr, because they will just bait you.
I don't know the Drew Starr. I don't think I knew Drew Starr. I need to look that one up.
Listen, he's a fun follow, but you got to be careful come free agency time, because he'll bring up like 7-year-old tweets to make you think that Giannis Antetokounmpo's girl is in Miami. Like, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
But God love him. But yeah, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, I'll read stuff on Twitter sometimes. I'm up early, and I'm like, I saw it was the ball. This was the quote. It says, when I first got to Miami, I thought he was the ball boy or some bleep. I was like, yo, this kid is shooting better than some players on the squad. Then I saw him take off the warm-ups, drain 6 threes in the game. He's easily the best shooter I've ever played with. And it's funny because I'm like reading that, and I was like, oh, I mean, why would he think Duncan Robinson is the ball boy? I was so early, I wasn't even computing how ridiculous it is that Andre Igoudala played with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson.
So that Duncan Robinson is the best shooter he's ever played with. After a week of being with him.
I was like, that doesn't sound real. Why would he think Duncan Robinson is the ball boy? He's 6'8". I didn't even think about the thing that was going to get everybody all upset. So this thing goes viral. And it's not only getting like all the regular people, it's getting NBA players. It's getting CJ McCollum, where he goes, they're going to come for Dre for a drug test this week. Lou Williams, he goes, what in the Kyle Korver is this? So much so that even Andre Iguodala had to come out and go, I do be saying some crazy bleep. But not that crazy.
Even he had to come out and say it because guys were falling for it. It made the rounds. It became viral to the point where people really thought that was Iguodala.
So funny.
And that's what. Listen, I say this knowing that I could get got, as they say one day, that somebody can get me with a stupid quote or with something silly like that. That they're having fun with. That's clearly parody and made up. But I'm very much in line with before you hit send, think about it, and before you believe anything, think about it. So I read over my tweets when I'm going to send them. Grammatically, I don't care so much about, but as far as factual information and what it is, I'm very careful, because one little thing like that and you look like the fool when you retweet hey, so-and-so is signing with this team, and it's some fake account like a fake Woj or something.
2,000 retweets, 18,000 likes.
Oh, good for him. Good for you. You got them.
Man, that's great. I love the one where somebody responds to him and it just says, just because somebody puts a picture next to a quote on the internet doesn't mean it's an actual quote, which is fair. A lot of people will fall for it. As long as you just put a graphic next to it, they're in. Like
you said, too, people look at social media in such a quick way. Like you said, when you woke up in the morning, you're just looking at it, or you scan through it. People just, flip through it real quick before they do something. You could easily buy into something and just hit retweet or think it's real and then fall for it.
Man. That was fun. We'll get some headlines. We'll get you caught up. Final hour of the show coming up next.